Welcome to 401 Nosh, the podcast. We are here in the basement of Nooney Company, right, Steve?
The basement, the tasting room, the Spielbusch.
That's the name I was going to ask. That's the name of the tasting room down here. We're enjoying a glass of red wine.
Yes.
Cheers to you. Thanks for coming out. And Chef Jeff Dinnebeil from Benchmark is here as well.
Cheers.
Do one more.
I love that sound.
I just wanted to hear that. That sounds great. It tastes great. We'll touch on the wine a little bit, but as I mentioned, we're at Nooney. You are with Nooney, your business development. That's what you're in charge of?
Yes, I'm Director of Business Development.
Tell me about this company briefly and what you do with them and how you guys are collaborators with Benchmark.
Well, the business actually started in tobacco, actually down in Florida. So the owner of the company had began with tobacco, and upon his divorce, he decided to take the business to Toledo, remarried again, and then found out, there are more things that he can do for local businesses. So expanded from just tobacco into cigars, wine. We have our own line of snacks, so we service all the state of Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, and Florida. So the company has just grown so much over from the 2 years that I've been there. And our partnership is with Benchmark Group. We have some of our wines in some of the restaurants there and in most of the fine restaurants in the Toledo area.
So you're on the road a lot, personally.
Quite a bit.
Yeah. Including when we're shooting this in October right now, you're going to be in Italy next week?
We are actually going to be in Italy, so we had the opportunity to go out to 3 of our vineyards that are in our Italian portfolio. So we will be in Venice, Puglia, and Sicily.
The wine we're drinking now, first of all, I love a red wine. This is from Italy. What do we have specifically?
So this is actually from the group, the Anno Domini. So this is a Cabernet Veneto. So this is 50% Cabernet and 50% Cab Franc. It's a beautiful wine. You're thinking, as I do when I drink wine, what would I eat with this?
Yes, what would you eat? And thank you. You're a radio veteran, so you know to set up a segue right into Jeff. Thanks for being here, Chef. Benchmark, I've talked to you many times. You guys have been around for 6 years now, coming up on your 6-year anniversary. And you've expanded a lot. It started with Benchmark. Then Harbortown and Claude's now. So you run 3 restaurants. You work with Steve here. But tell me a little bit about starting Benchmark here and establishing, these restaurants and becoming really ingrained in the community.
Yeah, Tim, we've had a lot of times to talk about Benchmark, what it's all about. It's been great. The city of Toledo is always so welcoming to new concepts. Everybody likes to get out there and try the new thing. And then, you're bound to catch hold to some people and develop some great regulars. And that's really what has been most rewarding about this whole process is developing those regulars, seeing the same faces every week, getting to know people on a personal basis, just being embraced by the community. Benchmark has been awesome. We've been open for about 6 years next month. Then we had Harbortown that opened in February of last year. And then Claude's, which just had its 1-year anniversary. So growing, developing, getting a great team together and really doing our thing.
You were in Chicago for a while. Are you from Toledo originally? I can't recall.
Basically, we moved here when I was 6 or 7. Mm-hmm. My wife, Megan, and I were out in Chicago for 2.5, 3 years. And then when we had our kid, it was time to come home to Grandma and Grandpa. Megan and I didn't want to be pushing the stroller on the L or anything like that.
Absolutely.
So, the 100-hour weeks in the Chicago restaurant scene wasn't kind of going to cut it. So came back and opened up Social Gastropub and then kind of went on to do our own thing.
Are you still in the kitchen? Because you have 3 places now, or do you oversee them all?
I'm definitely not in the kitchen as much as I used to be.
We were right.
Yeah, you definitely miss it. It's hard going from a knife and a pair of tongs and a Sharpie to a laptop and scratch paper and a pen. But, we have such a collaborative effort with such great chefs, whether it be Justin Thomas over at Claude's or Brian Kowalski at Benchmark, Dylan at Harbortown. They do a great job. We all get together. We have some fun. We talk about new ingredients, talk about new menus, and, they get out there and they execute it. The guys are just so incredibly talented and really are taking a lot of that heavy lifting when it comes to the kitchen on and running with it and just knocking it out of the park.
And that's got to be a relief for you too, knowing that you can trust people, that you can delegate and actually give away some of the control, because this is your baby. You came back here and you established it. That's a reflection on you, so you need people you can trust.
It's definitely a process, right when you really have to start giving away some of that control, because you just can't be everywhere. And look, chefs are creative people. They wouldn't be fulfilled if they didn't have that outlet.
Hello everybody, I'm Chef Justin Thomas here at Claude's Prime Seafood. Today we're going to be pairing our lobster ravioli for you. So here we have our homemade lobster raviolis. Roll them every day. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. So we're going to drop these and get these cooking. We're going to start building our sauce after this. We do a champagne sauce. So we have champagne, white wine, citrus, herbs. Here we have some of our rough chopped fresh Maine lobster that we use. We use Maine tails, Maine knuckle meat. Bring it all down for about a half hour, 45 minutes, get that beautiful base.
So do we have lobster in the ravioli and then also on top?
In and on top. So
Nice.
The lobster filling in the middle, we have some rough chopped Maine lobster, ricotta, creme fraiche, lemon juice, zest, and a little bit of chive all rolled in.
Was this one of your creations?
Yeah, we actually just put this together for the summer menu, and it's been kind of a hit. It's kind of taken off and stuck around. So we're about halfway there on the pasta. We'll start bubbling here and reducing. Once that's reduced down, we'll mount with butter and we'll plate up. So we kind of bring that pasta about 3/4 of the way, so then we want to cook it down in that sauce and let that sauce kind of stain into the pasta, kind of add some more flavor to it. What we think about creating dishes too is on the nights we're serving 500 people, is how executable is it? Everybody can put up one great dish and make it nice, but can we do it over and over and over 100 times a night? So yes, it's a simple dish on the pickup, but there's days of planning behind it. So as far as rolling the pasta, making sure the sauces are made and everything else that goes along with it. See our sauce thickening it up here a little bit. Start to see it coat the pasta a little bit more. It's when you know you're starting to get to the right consistency. So once we're plated here, we're gonna swing back over to finish our sauce. We have it seasoned out a little bit. We're gonna mount it with some butter, thicken it up, make it nice and glossy, make it nice and pretty. You'll start to see the sauce really come together in there. You just get that beautiful, smooth, glossy sauce to cover all these beautiful raviolis with. We are going to taste, always season and adjusting.
What should people look for when they try this dish?
Just the balanced flavors. The champagne sauce has a richness, but still like a tanginess to it. Beautiful balance, the bright chive oil, crunch from the breadcrumb. It all just plays very well together. And we always grate a little fresh Parmigiano Reggiano over top. And here's Claude's Prime Seafood Lobster Ravioli.
Just filled with lobster. You get the lobster on top, but then you also get a ton of lobster. It's almost like a lobster surprise inside. That sauce, too. Underrated hero of the dish is the sauce.
How did this collaboration start with Steve? Did you just go there one night?
I had known about. I went into the restaurant. I had had the food, and I said, the food is top notch. It's some of the best food in the city. And I thought, well, let's work on the wines. And actually, I had known one of the guys that works over at Harbor Town. He used to be on our radio show. And he said, you know what, I hear you're doing wine now. And I said, yeah, I got out of medical sales. And I'm like, getting paid to drink, I'm in. Let's do that. So it started over at Harbor Town. And he said, wow, you guys not only have really, really good wines, but the prices are incredible. And that's part of our message at Nooney's, try to bring in product that can help the restaurants make a little bit more revenue. And so we started there. And then I said, let's go ahead and get into Benchmark. And we've had a great relationship with Benchmark. They call us, not just for wines, for like the cherries and some of the other supplies that they need. We get the text several times a week, we need this, we need that. And as part of our company, we can, we're more than just wine. We can bring in the napkins, we can bring in the straws, we can bring in all those different things. So it's trying to help that business grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were a bulldog when you first started. It took a little while. Yeah, in the restaurant, you end up seeing so many different vendors, so many different times, and it's kind of like, okay, well, what do you got? Let me see your wine. Yeah. And, that's what it was until I actually started to get to try your wine.
Yeah.
The bottles that you started bringing to the table are just outstanding.
And I remember I took that compliment to it because he says, "Man, you are a bulldog." He says, "You don't stop." And I said, that's part of my thing. I'm in it to win it. And I said, I'm going to be aggressive as I can, but time it
In
out
the
just
perfect
right. In
manner.
the perfect way. You don't want to
you
do
navigated
it too much.
well.
Yes.
So that's a lot of praise. He just showered on you. So what are some of your favorite items at Benchmark, Claude's, or any of the restaurants?
You know what? I'm a pork chop guy.
Okay.
I
like that.
love that. Everything that the potatoes are, I think it's like the garlic smashed potatoes that are there. Everything there is good. Everything is there. I can't think. And you know what? Another thing I said to credit the staff. The staff are very, very knowledgeable about the food that's there, and you can see the passion when they're telling you. Today's we're offering such and such and such, and they're very knowledgeable. And I think that excites me to see that they know what they're talking about.
They're very nice to a camera crew too, as we were in there recently at Claude's. Chef JT and Zach, shout out to them, who made us some seasonal dishes and some favorites at Claude's, which I love that table that they had us at, which is that's like it's not chef's table, or is that what it's called?
Yeah, we call it our chef's table.
Mm-hmm.
It's a table right outside of the kitchen that gives you a little bit more interaction with the staff. You kind of get to be right up in the action, if you will. We're bringing all the food out. We operate verbal expediting kitchens, meaning that nobody back there gets tickets. So it's kind of dinner and a show where everybody's, fire this, fire that. You got this not working all day. I need this up next. Give me that damn cheese ravioli. Let's go. It gives you the opportunity to kind of be involved in it. And then, Justin and Brian turn around and always make sure everybody's having a good time. John will come by with a bottle of wine or an after-dinner cocktail or something, and really just kind of little gifts from the kitchen, gifts from the front of the house. Everything that we do, we're trying to harken back to making an emotional connection. And that we've really found that when we bring people to that chef's table, they don't know what to expect at first. And honestly, some people get offended. Like, how dare you sit me at a bar? I had a reservation. I'm here for my anniversary. And then they give us a chance and they buy in. And we have just made raving fans that will only sit at that chef's table.
Today we are going to be preparing our fall pan roasted chicken with andouille hash.
And who's here with you?
And this is my sous chef, Zach Moser. He's going to be doing the cooking, I'll be doing the talking. We start by searing off our airline chicken breast here. So we steamed at 145 for 2.5 hours, cooked it perfectly. We're going to do a nice sear till golden brown, get that skin nice and crispy. While that's working, we're going to have our hash, which is done by our prep team in the morning. So this is a mix of spicy andouille sausage, some apple, sweet potato, carrot, celery root, all them beautiful fall, winter root vegetables. We cook them down in some chicken stock, apple cider vinegar, sachet of herbs, simmer them down till they're nice and tender, and that's our base for the hash. Here we have some chicken demi.
What's it like having a team? You get to step back here and kind of just narrate what's going on. So what's it like to have a team you can trust?
Oh, it's wonderful, man. These guys do such an outstanding job on a daily basis. Honestly, no worries anytime they're here. Now we're about halfway there on the breast now that we have a nice sear, so where we get to go in and baste out a little bit with some butter and herbs. And that just infuses that butter, gets a beautiful flavor to it. And then we'll just come up and we'll baste out, crisp that skin up even more.
And what is the flavor we're looking for here?
So, we have a beautifully cooked chicken breast, so nice and tender and juicy. And this is gonna add some nice fattiness to it with the butter. Nice little herbal flavors from the thyme. Just nice little subtle notes to finish it on. We're gonna pop in the oven for a couple minutes to finish out. Zach's already plated our beautiful roasted potatoes. Chicken's out of the oven. We're gonna hit it with some fresh butter. We're gonna baste it out just to finish.
Do you guys have like a taste testing night where the whole team tests out if something's good?
Anytime we run new features out, anytime we do menu rollovers, we do a couple days in a row where everybody's trying the dishes. And here we have Claude's Prime Seafood fall roasted chicken breast with fall andouille hash.
And we're looking kind of at like a comfort, warming you up type of season type flavor there.
100%.
Toledo has a great food scene. It really always has, but it's even better than ever. And this scene down here, a little bit of the history down here that you touched on, it's called the Spielbusch, this wine room. So how can people access this? Because this isn't like a restaurant that you go into and just go up to a bar. This is something that's a little unique. Tell me about this.
It is unique, and that's part of the passion of liking wine. I think when I'm drinking wine and when I'm talking about wine, I'm with people that like wine. You always talk about who are you with, what are you talking about, what are you eating. Can you make the memories? That's kind of our tagline, Nooney wines make moments, memories. That's like our tagline. And that's part of the experience here at Spielbusch. I mean, you can get a hold of me. You can book this for, private tastings. We work with a lot of the restaurants and GMs at the country clubs. But this was basically created to try to get the chefs out of their environment so that they can truly have a space where they can come as our guest and enjoy the wine and really make those decisions on things that they want to bring into the restaurant.
So you close deals down here too.
We've closed a lot.
Actually, that's how we set up this podcast, was in this room. We're like, hey, let's make it happen.
Actually did, yeah. So that it's part of that experience because you come in there and you don't know what to expect. It's very much the speakeasy experience. You're coming through the warehouse. You're like, okay, where am I going? Is this going to fall on my face? You don't know, and then you get into the elevator, and then the doors open, and it's like euphoric experience. You're like, wow, what am I?
Yeah.
And it's a chance to unwind and taste some really good wine.
Are you from Toledo originally?
Originally from Columbus.
Columbus,
Yes.
Okay. But you've been here a long time to where you're a Toledoan.
Yeah, I love the city. That's part of, we've had that history. We've talked about that. I also do another radio show and a television show. And and the reason why I do that is because it gives an opportunity for someone like ourselves to help local businesses. I have the pleasure of being able to live downtown. I've been downtown for 19 years, so I've seen a lot of the restaurants, come into the downtown, a lot of the businesses. That's part of that excitement to see those type of businesses grow and, wine be a part of it, and cigars and champagne and whatever else we have to offer.
Yeah, I was going to touch on the cigars a little bit. So you have a cigar room. We don't have those. We didn't bring those in with us. The smoke's probably not good for the cameras and everything like that. Wouldn't be able to see us. Although it would go great with a red wine. So you guys have a little cigar room as well.
We do.
Well, I don't want to say little cigar room, but you know what I mean.
It's a good size cigar room.
It's a good size cigar room.
guy?
From time to time.
Oh,
That's what I am too. Yeah, with maybe a little bit of bourbon every once in a while.
And like you said, I mean, man, you couldn't have a better pairing.
no.
Yeah.
Well, and that's another thing. Benchmark is really well known for. And I tell people, besides the
Cigars?
food, bourbons.
Yes, the bourbon selection.
The bourbon selection there is incredible. Who makes the decision to bring the bourbons in that you guys have?
Honestly, we just really work with our vendors really well. One of the most important things when we started Benchmark was to really redefine the expectations for our vendors when it comes to our relationship. So we've had the opportunity to work with Merinos in Sylvania, and first off, they are top class.
Marion's hilarious.
Man, anything that you want, they have. And they're just family friends. Their whole family, every single one of them is such an incredible person, so polite, so hardworking. So partnering with them, Ohio is such a controlled state when it comes to liquor. If you don't have those good relationships with your vendors,
That's true.
You don't get the opportunity. So we kind of put the trust into them and say, hey, look, if it's good and it's allocated, if it's something that we should have, send it in. We'll figure it out later.
You have amazing bartenders as well. I've been to that
best.
Benchmark bar many times, sat at the bar, and the location there too, being near the hotels, you get a lot of people from out of town. And I've, like anyone, you've been on vacation, staying somewhere, and you're like, okay, what's right next to the hotel? If you're staying there in Levis Commons, you're not from here, and you're like, what's this place? I can go right across the street. Or Claude's, just a little bit further. I love that. I love meeting people that are from out of town. I've done it a few times when I've been at Benchmark, and the Claude's bar too has got that unique kind of snake design to it.
We have really high standards. We expect a lot from our front of the house staff. We expect a lot from our back of house staff. But as I touched on earlier, it is all about giving people that genuine emotional connection and feeling when they come in there. And that's what our bartenders and our servers and our bussers and our hostesses, that's what everybody does so well. They work great as a team. They make sure that they hit all the finer points. They make sure that your water's all full. And, that's all a given when you walk in the door. What they do really, really well is they find out who you are. And they find out what kind of experience you want, and they really tailor that experience to what you're looking for. They are out there looking, what can we do special? They're always listening to conversations, trying to pick up on, are you celebrating a graduation? Are you celebrating a promotion? We're quick with a glass of champagne or a dessert at the end of the night or something like that. We always look for those little Easter egg nuggets of information that we can kind of tailor your experience to something special.
You've experienced this. You're nodding along. You want to chime in?
You couldn't have said that any better. And I do a lot of wine classes at different restaurants. I'm working with the staff, teaching them about the wines that we bring in. And the other thing is how to upsell, how to get that information. Hi, my name is, what are you guys celebrating? What are you here for? Get that information, because when you come to that table of that guest, of that restaurant, you're in charge. They're looking for you for information. They're looking to you to be the captain of that ship, so to speak. So you need to come there and know how to get that, make that decision on what they're going to eat, the experience that they're going to have. You're in charge of that. So I'm so glad that you said that, because it's very important.
What I love about our servers is they're not just going to try to push you into a more expensive bottle of wine. Like you said, they're going to listen to your taste. They're going to listen to your interests. And, sure, you might have had a bottle of Camus that you love in the past, and, it's $150 or $40 or whatever it is on the menu. They're listening. They're hearing you. They're talking about the wine, what they like about it, and then, picking up on that little information and then steering you to something that's cheaper that you might even like more. We look at things as the long-term relationship. We want people to come in and first and foremost just have that great interaction and look forward to seeing you the next time.
And if any servers or bartenders are listening or watching, I am an easy upsell in person to have a conversation with, and I probably will go for the more expensive bottle of wine or champagne, especially if it's on the weekend. This has been great chatting with you guys. I love to see this partnership. I love to see the collaboration in Toledo and people making things better, food and drink, the whole culture. Yes, bring it around here. Let's pour that up one more time. Thank you for coming out. You welcomed us, Steve, so thank you for bringing us. I guess I'm going one more time.
Anytime.
Cheers to you guys out there. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on 41 Nosh Podcast.